Very good morning, children. Uh, Yesterday and before yesterday, we have studied about some basic points according to the chemical equations. For this, first we have studied changes around us. In that, we have taken chemical changes. So, for that chemical changes, we are going to write chemical equations now. So, up to here, I think you got some idea. And we have studied about how to name the compound molecules, how to give chemical formula for compound molecules, those we have studied before class. So we have observed how to give chemical formula for calcium oxide, we have studied yesterday. So next we are going to continue with our regular lesson. So in this lesson, first we will start with chemical equations. In that, once again I am going to take chemical change. Once again I am going to start like that. So we have already observed and we have already learned about this, but now I am again taking children chemical change. Once again I am repeating you, I am revising you once again. So see children, the original substance would be changed here. Nature of the original substance would be changed and new substances are formed with properties completely unlike. So in this chemical change, new substances will form and the properties of new substance are unlike to original. So that we got, that is chemical change. So new substances will form and the properties of new substances are unlike to original. So like that, here we are going to see about chemical changes. Let us see how to understand. How can we understand? How do we know the chemical reaction has taken place? So for that, first we need to take some activities. In textbook they have given some activities. So from that, children, I am taking activity 1. So in this activity 1, so take about 1 gram of quicklime calcium oxide in a beaker, add 10 ml of water to this. So that is the reaction taking place here. Should understand, children, calcium oxide, that doesn't given any chemical formula. We are going to write chemical equations further classes, in further classes. So that's why I have discussed about all those chemical formulas. So in the chemical equations, I have explained you the symbols of elements and the rules to follow the writing in the writing of chemical equations, and chemical formula for different compounds also I have explained with criss-cross method. So here they have given directly calcium oxide. So we have find out that in the previous class we have find out that chemical formula for calcium oxide CaO we have find out. So like that we find. Then I am going to start with activity 1 now. So in this activity 1, I am taking first activity 1 gram of quicklime plus 10 ml of water. So calcium oxide plus water gives rise to, we need to read like this, children, gives rise to, it gives rise to calcium hydroxide. So here water molecule mixes with calcium oxide, will get calcium hydroxide and heat energy released. In two terms I want to explain you, children, endothermic and exothermic reaction. So this is also most important, children, in this. So while the reaction taking place, if the heat energy releases, then are liberated, also we can call liberated, those type of reactions are called exothermic, children. Exothermic reactions. While the reaction taking place, when the reaction taking place, if the heat energy releases are liberated, those type of heat releases, then those are exothermic reactions. And coming to the endothermic reactions. So here I am taking endothermic reactions. The reaction in which the heat energy absorbed by the reactants, those type of reactions are called endothermic reactions. I think you got idea, children. The reaction in which heat energy liberates or released, that reactions are called exothermic, and in which reactions the heat energy absorbed by the reactants, those type of reactions are called endothermic reactions. So here we are discussing in the activity 1. So we got a colorless solution, calcium hydroxide, and if we test with litmus paper, I think you have studied in 7th and 8th classes about 7th class, especially acids and bases lesson about litmus papers, and these are indicators to identify which one is acid and which one is base. I think you got an idea. So phenolphthalein you know, methyl orange you know, these two are the indicators. So once again I am reminding you, children, phenolphthalein, so which gives with acids colorless solution. If we add phenolphthalein to acid, it will become like colorless. If we add phenolphthalein to bases, it become like pink color, it will changes to pink color. And coming to the methyl orange, if we add methyl orange to acids, it will become red color. Or else if we add methyl orange to bases, yellow. Remember these two, children. So don't get confused. We are studying from lower classes onwards, but again you are confused. You are having some confusion because of that is common for students. And phenolphthalein gives colorless solution with acids, and phenolphthalein gives pink color solution with bases, and methyl orange gives red color solution with acids and yellow color solution with bases. So, and one more thing, children, with litmus paper, red to blue, those are bases. If red litmus paper reacts with any solution and gives blue color, that is base, and blue to red, blue litmus paper will turn into red color, those solutions are acids. So remember this. Here we got calcium hydroxide. If we test with litmus paper, the red litmus paper turns into blue color. That's why here that calcium hydroxide is base. We can conclude that calcium hydroxide is base. So this is activity 1, children. So this is exothermic because heat energy released. So exothermic base solution we got, and red litmus paper, because why we are calling that one is base solution calcium hydroxide, red litmus paper turns into blue. So I have explained you, children, compound molecules chemical formula, how can we write. So here we are not writing now. The next explanation we are going to write chemical equations. At that time I will give you the further information about that and the uses of that compound molecules chemical formula in the next class. And next we are going to see activity 2. So here sodium sulfate. So they have given Na2SO4. So here also we can find out that Na2SO4 with the help of our yesterday's crisscross method. Sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate. We know in the first step, write down the symbols for individual elements. Symbol sodium element, symbol Na, we know. Sulfate, we know SO4. So this is the first step. In the next step, we are going to find out which one is cation and which one is anion in this both. We know that Na plus cation and SO4 anion. That's why in the third step Na plus and SO4 minus, that we know. And in the next step here we are going to find the valency. For sodium valency, sodium electronic configuration 11. So sodium valency 1 we know. And coming to the SO4 minus 2, from the yesterday's explanation I am writing SO4 sulfate has minus 2 valency. So here in the next step, the HCF of these two numbers is 1 only, so no need to find out any HCF. Then interchange valency numbers now. So we can get Na2SO4 1. So here 1 means we can neglect. So Na2SO4 is the chemical formula for sodium sulfate. Like that here they have given. So like that barium chloride also we can find out. Take about 100 ml of water in another beaker here. One more children. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, then 3s1. Here 1 electron for getting neon configuration. For getting neon 10 configuration, sodium will lose. Sodium will get plus 1 valency number and become as cation, positively charged cation, like that. Coming to the barium chloride also we can find out the chemical formula. Here two substances they have given and those two substances reacts with water. First they have explained sodium sulfate plus 100 ml of water. So then what will releases? So that is sodium sulfate is a strong electrolyte. About these electrolytes we have studied in 8th class. So take children, here I am taking activity 2 now. So in the textbook they have given activity 2. First, sodium sulfate. I have explained how to find out sodium sulfate formula. So sodium sulfate formula Na2SO4 we know, plus 100 ml water. Like this we can write electronic chemical equations like this. So we know that Na2SO4 is a strong electrolyte and we mix with 100 ml of water, it will dissociate into Na2 Na sodium ions and sulfate ions. Like that these are dissociates, and these two ions at that time the heat energy will also release. Heat energy will release. That means here the sodium sulfate reacts with water will liberates some heat energy. So that is it is exothermic releases. So that means exothermic reaction. So like this we can get. So it is a perfect electrolyte, strong electrolyte, and the dissociation will taking place, dissolves and dissociates. Next, coming to the barium chloride. In this barium chloride, we can also find out the formula like BaCl2. So here the valency of barium is plus 2 valency. So first barium chloride valency is plus 2, that's why here we'll get the formula BaCl2. So here valency plus 2 and here minus 1 means 2 chlorides. It will balances like that. So that's why we are getting BaCl2 as our criss-cross explanation. So see, let us see that also. So first step, write down the basic components or basic elements symbols first. Barium Ba and chlorine Cl. Then afterwards which one is cation and which one is anion. So Ba plus we know it is a cation and Cl minus anion. Why Ba is cation means barium. So barium atomic number. What is the barium atomic number, children?